You're right here.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I will call this school board meeting of Independent District 544 to order. Would you take roll, please?
Certainly. Kirby Anderson.
Here.
Natalie Knudsen.
Here.
Melanie Cole. Present. Matthew Lemke.
Here.
Missy Hermes. Present. Stephen Biggessa.
Here.
We have a quorum.
And could I get a motion to approve our agenda?
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Okay, agenda is approved. We have a resolution on acknowledgements. Thank you to Senerson Lumber for their donation of drop-off pieces of OSB plywood to the Career and Technical Education Department at Roosevelt. And congratulations to the following. Adopted bowlers Zabe Carlson and Nathan Graham for placing first in doubles, and Evan Kugler for placing sixth in singles at the state competition. Envirothon team, Logan Bredenberg, Clayton Peppel, Jaden Miller, Thomas Erickson, and Josiah Ugarud for their third place finish in the state competition. And congratulations to Mary Rostedt for receiving the 2023 Minnesota Driver and Traffic Safety Education Association Teacher of Excellence Award. Would someone offer that resolution and move for its adoption?
I'll offer the resolution and move for its adoption.
And a second.
I'll second that.
Missy, will you take roll?
Oh, yes. Kirby Anderson.
Yes.
Natalie Knudsen.
Yes.
Melanie Cole.
Yes.
Matthew Lemke.
Yes.
Missy Hermes, yes. Stephen Biggessa.
Yes.
The resolution is adopted.
Thank you. All right, we have our reports tonight, and we're actually going to go out of order a little bit and start with Principal Mark Anderson.
Thank you for letting me go first. The baseball team will be happy. They asked me if I'd get out and watch. They know I go to a lot of games, and I haven't been out there, so they've been a little disappointed, so I appreciate this. Obviously, you know, for the last couple of weeks, we've been doing quite a few concerts at the high school, so our orchestra, band, and choir have all performed their spring concerts this year. They were awesome. A lot of people came in attendance. Our senior signing day for Fergus Falls was last week on Monday. We had 75% of our students actually participate in that opportunity, which is up from less than 50% last year. So we're continually growing that opportunity. When I was here last time, I told you that we had a surprise for one of the seniors. One of our seniors did sign a contract with RDO for $32,000 to get his tools, his college, and he is guaranteed a job on completion. So you can imagine we made the senior group with him stay up there, and their eyes all popped open that maybe going to work might be a good idea, and having someone pay for my education. So a lot of talk has been happening since that. Our seniors' last walk is this Friday. We'll be at all the buildings. We're not only honoring our seniors, but also those staff members who are retiring and the service they've given to our district. So they'll be leading us in that opportunity. We look forward to it. The seniors are already asking what they should be wearing. Seniors in good standing will also be going to Valley Fair on May 31st. Good standing means they're going to graduate and make it across stage on June 2nd. We just finished up senior spotlights. This is an opportunity for us to find out what each student is doing after high school, be it college, work, military, gap year, whatever their expectations are. We have a little document. We'll put them on the windows in the office so when kids walk by, they can see where everybody's going, what their plans are, who their favorite activities and teachers and things were in their 13 years in our district. So we're excited to see those pop up. Graduation, I sent an email out to all of you, is June 2nd for the high school here in the Gold Gym at 7 o'clock. You're also invited if you want to attend June 1st, 7 o'clock in the auditorium. I've received a few emails from those, from a few of you. If you plan to attend one or the other, please let me know so we have the right number of chairs for you in attendance. The counseling department has done something really cool. They've applied for an MDE grant, and they'll get some additional pay for some additional work that they'll be doing to implement direct admissions. What this means is all kids will fill out a paper for us, and because of their GPA, we'll send the information to the colleges, and all colleges will then determine if that student is going to be accepted at their college. So students will actually be accepted before truly applying to colleges this fall, and they want all kids to be able to have that opportunity to be accepted and have that thought process. We are not forcing all kids to go to college, so our discussion is truly about what's best for kids, and kids having those opportunities put out in front of them to make the decision that is right for them. So career and college readiness will be something we're working on, and they'll be sending those letters out in August, and we'll get a little video out for them here shortly. Our egg mechanics, FFA egg mechanics team did place first in state and are excited to go to nationals next year. They also had their FFA banquet this last week with great attendance. It's nice to see both a mix of young women and men in the FFA program right now. Great things, or great spring concert or play this year, Steel Magnolia at the Center for the Arts. It's always great to watch our kids perform. They do such an amazing job. And regular season is ending for sports. Sections are starting for some teams this week, and everybody will start next week. And 100% of our staff here at the high school will have implemented their PBL by the end of the school year. So some of them are finishing those up as we speak, currently this week and next week. The ALC seniors also did their senior signing day. They find it quite interesting going down there. They are negotiating who wants to keep their chamber bucks. It's $10. I'll give you my chamber bucks if you give me this. So they're kind of changing and giving each other stuff. So what you value depends on what they. So it was nice to see. They did request that they come up here next year. They've always decided to stay down there and do their signing, but they want to come up and do the auditorium with us next year and have that opportunity. So we'll we'll offer them the opportunity to come up and do that with us. Seniors in good standing for the ALC will also go to the Valley Fair trip on May 31st. And I know Kristen always plans something at the end of the year for them for just the ALC, so they'll be doing something around the area. And again, 100% of the ALC will have completed their activity for PBL. The two big ones that Kristen wanted me to highlight that will be again happening in 23-24 is Wizards of Math and Wizards of Science. Both those two teachers pretty much co-teach that class. So PBL is pretty much what they do on a unit-by-unit basis in that classroom. The IQ Academy, 100% of that staff will also have completed their PBL activities prior to the end of the year. They had the Mall of America trip was well attended, and parents and students were showed up at a higher number than usual. Parents are asking for more days like the Mall of America. They want their kids to be able to connect with their peers online and their teachers, so IQ is talking about what kind of other opportunities they can get for in-person opportunities with them. The IQ graduation reception will be from 4 to 5 at the Rec on June 2nd in Community Ed, so if you want to come down and be part of that, that would be great. We will have 117 people attending that day. We have 25 kids from the IQ Academy who will be participating in graduation here at Fergus Falls High School, which is the highest we've ever had, so that's nice to see. So we'll have almost 180 kids or more in graduation ceremony with us on June 2nd. And congratulations to Carrie Grunley on her retirement, and thank you for the 31 years of service she's given to IQ. And also congratulations to Carla Cummings on being named West Central School Counselors Association Counselor of the Year. So a lot of great things happening for the IQ Academy also. That's what I have for report for you guys tonight. Any questions?
Any questions? All right.
Thank you for letting me go first.
Enjoy the game?
Yes, thank you.
All right, our next board report then is our elementary principal, Scott Colbeck.
Or
Tindy Run.
Or maybe we should go in reverse order. This one.
Let's go together.
How you doing? Are you ready?
Let's get crazy, guys. Come
Let's
on.
go, Ivan.
Oh! So next month, I get to.
Yes.
All right. Hi, everybody. May is a busy month. Each grade level has been enjoying a number of events over the past few weeks. On Wednesday and Thursday this week, we'll welcome over our fourth graders from Cleveland, and Mr. Steinberg and I will give tours and answer questions, and so that they can get another step in their process of transitioning over to this building next year. The fifth grade, we have fifth and sixth grade track and field day scheduled for this Thursday. If it happens to rain, we'll go on Friday. Fifth grade will go to Maplewood State Park on Wednesday, May 26th, and they go to Bonanzaville and the Yemcos Center in Moorhead in June 2nd. And then our Prairie students in grade 5 will be celebrating their year at the Prairie on June 1st. Our 6th grade, Regional Treatment Center tour by the Historical Society on May 17th. So they did that last week. The Maroon team is taking a field to Mille Lacs Trading Post Museum, so they're going to have that experience along with the track and field day. We've had our orchestra and band concerts. Those were last week. Our 7th and 8th grade choir is tonight. Dress appropriately. 5th and 6th grade is on Wednesday at noon. Tonight, obviously, is the Blondo Art Festival. Make sure you take a lap around the auditorium and check out that work. Just really some phenomenal pieces out there to check out. Our 7th, 8th grade honors band will take their annual trip to the Valley Fair on June 5th. 8th grade teachers, the 8th grade team has planned a service project event for June 6th. Primarily they're cleaning up trash in the city park and on school grounds, but they're also making greeting cards and raking lawns and other items such as that. Last week our 8th graders went on Fly Day, so all of our students got to get in an airplane, provided they had proper parent permission. Mr. Arns has organized that again this year. 9 planes going up and down all day to get 200 plus students up in the air. Yeah, very cool. My daughter is one of them. We got a TikTok. I don't think you can have your phone in school, but we did get TikTok. Lastly, we are ending our school year with a monthly class meeting, but in this case, it's class celebrations. We want to continue to recognize students for their achievements in the classroom that they've accomplished over the course of the year. We'll announce our MBOs, attendance awards, and then teachers get the opportunity to recognize students in their individual classes for awards as well. Great way to wrap up the school year. MCA testing is done and wrapped up. We're happy about that. We're excited to start diving into some of the data. But when the MCAs are over, then we start doing a lot of PBLs. So I have 3 brief examples to share with you. 8th grade English, Miss Love, is doing a PBL and children's book project. So what they did is they gathered information using interview questions, and they were able to go over to Cleveland and connect with 6 different 3rd grade classrooms. The 8th graders were paired with a 3rd grader and interviewed them to gain information to put towards creating a children's book for that student. The 3rd graders even shared their favorite picture books with 8th graders, and they analyzed the children's cover as part of the process. After they collected all that information, they were ready to start writing their stories. They are working on finishing their stories and beginning the process of putting the books together with their own illustrations. Once the books are complete, they'll meet up with the 3rd graders again and share their books as a gift to them. Kind of cute. Yeah. 7th grade math, Ms. Zadini and Mr. Lawson, they did a carnival project. Students came up with simple carnival games that they could identify all the game's outcomes. They researched probability and used it to predict the outcomes using theoretical probability. Then they created, in some cases, built the game and produced a poster explaining their games. Then they hosted the carnival in their classroom and recorded the data of all the outcomes of the students and teachers playing the games. Then students compared this data, the experimental probability, with the theoretical probability and wrote up a report on their findings. Kind of nice. And the last one was Math 6, Mr. Sternberg and Mrs. McGovern. They did a taste of adulthood. The focus on this project was math-based, where students would earn, spend, and budget their money. Students went to college and selected a career. Then students learned about income and Social Security taxes, because that would be percentages. They learned about insurance. They investigated cable, internet, and phone plans. They discussed saving and spending their money on wants, not all needs. They also had luck of the draw. They had injuries or car trouble, as well as purchasing a house. So they got the whole 6th grade. They got the whole deal there. It was interesting because some kids wanted a really nice house, and then some kids wanted a lot of stuff. So they got to figure that out, just like a real life grown-up. Students' outcomes were to learn about percentages and ratios. They learned about budgeting process. Students shared their adulthood, with their taste of adulthood with their peers, and some students have their life board posted in the hallway downstairs. Very cool projects. So, that's all I have for tonight.
Any questions for Mr. Hurst? Thank you.
Mr. Colbeck?
And then next on the list is Principal Ryan.
All right. Good evening, everyone. It feels a little different to go ahead of Mr. Colbeck because usually I'm repeating what he says, highlighting things, and so we'll see if we're in sync tonight as well. This last month of school year, the month of May, is so action-packed and it goes so quickly. You just hardly hate to blink, you're going to miss out on something. But I'm just going to highlight what some of our 4th grade and 3rd grade classes are doing in these last weeks of the school year. 4th grade classes, the Prairie Science classes went to Glendalough Park for a full day of variety of activities. And then our Cleveland-based classrooms also spent a day at Glendalough doing cross-curricular activities. And we were so grateful that the snow melted and they each had a beautiful day to thoroughly enjoy the weather and all that they had planned that day. Prairie Science class sections will have their annual planting day tomorrow. This incorporates, in the fall of the year, students learned about different plants. They harvested seeds when they were dried through the winter. And then earlier this spring, they spent time in the greenhouse planting those seeds in little 6-packs and then measuring growth, and different plants were growing different ways. So they recorded some of that data. And now tomorrow they get to plant these prairie seedlings and add to the prairie restoration and really leave their mark. So it's special activity going on there.
Cindy, I'm just going to stop you for a second. Thank you guys for coming. Just can you eliminate any conversation during our meetings? That'd be really appreciated. It's super distracting. Thank you. All right, go ahead. Thank you.
Sure. Students at Prairie have also been working on their end of the year essays, and that's a culmination of reviewing their journaling throughout the year and putting it in essay form. They will be presenting their special events to their parents on their celebration day, which is on May 26th. And then last Friday, all of the 4th grade classes came to Kennedy Secondary School for an orientation for band. The band directors have been over at Cleveland a few different days, presenting the different instruments for student choice and letting them try some of them out. So if they're interested in playing in band, they have a better idea of when they're making their selection. And then this week, as Mr. Hurst mentioned, our 4th grade classes are excited and a little nervous about coming to Kennedy for a tour of the building. They've been here for different events, but they really are thinking this is becoming real. I'm going to have to learn a locker combination. What does this mean about gym clothes, the locker room, the whole nine yards? So they're excited and nervous for their tours later this week. Our 3rd grade classes have had their final trips to the Prairie Wetlands Learning Center. This last one, I believe, really focused on birds and watching the different migrations as they're coming back to our area. All of the 3rd grade classes, along with 4th grade classes, will take a little hike down to the public library, become oriented with the public library for those who haven't had the opportunity to be there yet, and then also learn more about the summer reading program and other events that our public library offers. And then each grade level also has a planned field day during the last week of the school year. I mean, that's, we're just so fortunate to have that lower grassy level at Cleveland, and it just can spread out and set things up there and still be close to the building and facilities. 3rd grade classes are also going to be hosting 2nd graders as they come to Cleveland on May 31st for a visit in the morning. They're going to get a quick little tour of the building. They have a special reading activity that they're going to do in one station. They get to play ultimate tic-tac-toe in another station, and then a little bit of time on the playground. So 4 quick stops, but it gives those 2nd graders a chance to get into the building and see what their new school will look like for next year. Otter PTO Booster fundraiser has been taking place last week and yesterday or today, and then tomorrow. Tomorrow is our Otter Fun Run. out on the track. Our third graders will run at 9 o'clock and the fourth graders will run at 12:40. We've had two wonderful leaders from Booster here the last several days of the school year, or last week. And they have spent time getting acquainted with the students, joining Phi-Ed classes, some time on the playground, and they get into every class each day to promote the theme, the different themes, fire the kids up, kind of do some reporting and then rewarding. They've gotten to silly string the Booster people, play some dodgeball on the playground, just different fun, motivating things. And I know we've shared this before, but this fundraiser that Otter PTO has selected really does a great job of promoting some character traits as well. They've connected this year's with national parks, Acadia National Park, the Everglades, Yosemite, Zion, and Denali. And the virtues that they've really featured have been gratitude, stewardship, bravery, perseverance, and now today was wonder. And so it really just ties everything together for the kids, and there's a lot of really neat learning here that's going along with this fundraiser. As of this morning, the fundraiser was already tipped over the $30,000 mark of our goal of $35,000, and having the fundraiser at this time of the year really allows Otter PTO to schedule out for special events on next year's calendar. And sure enough, we're going to be able to provide students a live performance again from the Theater Works USA, some of the other activities at each grade level that was unique for each grade level that teachers really preferred and seemed like great learning opportunities. The PTO is already diligent at work getting those things on our calendar. So we just really appreciate everybody's involvement in making this possible, because some really great learning opportunities come of that. And then lastly, I just wanted to conclude with a couple of thank yous. Being this is our last report for the school year. A big thank you to all of the businesses in our community that partner with us with the Adopt a Business program. It's a great connection between our community and our classrooms. Some of our classes take a tour of our businesses and learn what they offer our community, and other times the business partners come into the schools and provide a little lesson or kind of a video feature of different sorts. So it's really a two-way street. Our students like to do some special projects and have posted or hung up at the businesses, but it's a great way to remain connected in our community. So big thank you to all of the businesses that participate in that program, along with Mary Madison and her office for getting that all coordinated each summer. And then also big thank you to our public library. Once again, they're offering a high-quality summer reading program to promote literacy and keep kids engaged in reading throughout the summer. That's going to start right away on June 12th and runs 8 weeks through August 3rd. This is a voluntary program where parents can sign their students up to receive a 30-minute weekly reading lesson with a skilled tutor. And this is available for students in 1st through 6th grade. So we, in the public library, is all sorts of other book clubs going, a sign, kids can go there and learn how to make signs. There's all sorts of things going on in our public library, so we are very fortunate to have that great involvement in our community as well. So that concludes my report for the evening. So, thank you.
Thank you. All right. We'll hold back.
All right, good evening. Just a quick PBL update, and I want to highlight 3 different projects. First grade students in Mr. Gravy's class at McKinley School, they designed, set up, and ran a school store using real money. They purchased items used in the classroom such as pencils, erasers, snacks, Kleenex, and other miscellaneous supplies. Students took turns being the shoppers, the clerks, and stocking the items. They kept an inventory, and students reset at the beginning of every week by counting out dollars using various coins of pennies, dimes, nickels, and quarters. That was the first one. After working on background knowledge, which included learning about landforms and reading several read-aloud pirate books, students in Mrs. Stish's 2nd grade class at Adams School are currently working with partners to create a treasure map with a map key for various symbols. They'll add a compass rose and include written directions to find the treasure. Students will use dotted or dashed lines from starting point to the treasure. The treasure map will be designed on 12 by 18-inch construction paper, and directions will be written on paper that looks like old antique paper. And then, students in Mrs. Katie's second grade class, also at Adams School, participated in a play titled Pushing Up the Sky, and that came from the reading curriculum. Students were given the choice of having a speaking part or being behind the scenes, creating scenery and props, choosing to have an animal part and creating masks and costumes, or organizing scenes and artwork for the scene posters. Some other PBLs include designing and building a zoo and balloons over Broadway. McKinley kindergarten students participated in Farm Day last Friday out at the fairgrounds. Thank you to Dennis Wutsky and Melody Lundquist and the FFA students for putting on this very popular event. 4 stations included live animals, a hayride, farm machinery, and a station titled Where Our Food Comes From. Live animals included horses, cows, pigs, chickens, goats, sheep, ducks, donkeys, and a rabbit. I would say, in my opinion, the order of stations in most popular to perhaps least popular was the live animals, followed by the hayride, followed by farm machinery, followed by Where Our Food Comes From. These are kindergartners. McKinley first graders visited Adams School last week and had a tour of the building, phy-ed class with Mr. Meyer, and ate lunch in the Adams cafeteria, where they will all be second graders next year. A special thank you to Mrs. Umlauf at Adams School for her music programs over the past couple weeks, and then to Mrs. Danielson for her upcoming music programs at McKinley on May 31st, June 1st, and 2nd. Adams School second graders spent part of a day last week at Maplewood State Park. It was a great day, but cut short due to the poor air quality we were experiencing from the Canadian forest fires. We decided to bring them back a bit early and not have them exerting themselves on the 1.3-mile round trip hike to Halloway Hill. So after having their sack lunches, they got on the bus and came home. Thank you to Mr. Peterson and Mrs. Johnson, some of the high school orchestra members, and the 4th grade orchestra for performing at Adams and McKinley earlier this month. We recently finished up our spring map testing, and we're looking forward to seeing the results of the growth of our students from fall to spring. Tomorrow is our Boosterthon Fun Run at the high school track. First graders run at 9, and kindergarten and second grade run at 10. And it looks to be a beautiful day. And it also looks like we're going to meet our goal of 35,000. I got an email right before I came here, and we're already past 34. And tonight and tomorrow are usually the biggest giving days, so we might push 40. Theater Works USA recently performed live theater for our students. The show was Junie B. Jones, and it was really well done. We're looking forward to bringing Theater Works USA back again next year, hopefully with a performance of Charlotte's Web. And we're looking forward to what's called the Seniors Last Walk on Friday of this week. This is something that Mr. Anderson started last year with the senior class. They go around to each elementary school and walk through the hallways. They always remember it as being much larger than they were much younger. First graders are eagerly anticipating their zoo trip next week on June 1st. And Love and Logic training is scheduled for our K-2 staff on June 8th. All teachers and support staff will be trained. Certified Love and Logic trainer Kathy Smith, also a second grade teacher at Adams School, will be delivering the training. And then lastly, Jessica Molstreet, Mike Ebevold, Amelia Lamar, and I will be holding a data retreat later this week to look over some data points and identify the students that are currently in kindergarten and first grade that we're going to want to serve next year in first and second grade in our Title I program and our new RTI program in grades K through 2 next year. So with that, I'd entertain any questions from the board. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, our next report is going to be on our fiscal year 24 budget.
Are you able to pull up the, it's called fiscal year 24 board summary? It's not good. If you want to click on the tab called 24 budget summary. Thank you. Okay, so while the numbers are up there, I'll start going over some of the assumptions that I put in the budget. So for, on the revenue side, projected enrollment for next year is 3,022, which is slightly down from this year, which was at 3,120. Projecting a 4% increase in the gen ed formula, so that would be 7,137 versus our current 6,863. And this is almost finalized in the legislature. Projecting rent from the children's corner of 180,000. And then also, as of last week, the legislature is narrowing down the amount for a special ed cost subsidy that we would get. The additional funding for next year, as of right now, it looks like it will be about 950,000. On the expenditure side of things, this list is much longer, unfortunately. So increase in property liability insurance and workers' comp premiums, I'm estimating about 5% there. We did increase staff development by about 10,000. The TRA employer contribution rate goes up July 1st. That'll be 8.75%. What I just learned this morning when I came in and read the email was that the legislature over the weekend, they are now talking about another increase in the TRA. So I believe this one would allow teachers to retire at 1 year early, so I believe age 65 instead of 66. But along with that, the employees would be required to put in 0.25% of their payroll, and then on the employer side it would be another 0.75%. So this was late in coming up, and so I have no idea if it's going to be passed or not. So I did throw that extra in there. It would be about 120,000 for us that you see highlighted there in the yellow. That one actually put us into the negative on the general fund. I was projecting a positive 55,000 for fiscal year 24, and with the latest increase in the mandates, I'm now looking at a negative 64,000 for next year. Other expenditures that I've got penciled in here, it would assume that we would use all operating capital and LTFM revenue that we receive. I also factored in the Lincoln Phase 2 bond payments that would come out of operating capital and LTFM. Some of the other mandates that I hadn't talked about yet include unemployment. Unemployment benefits sounds like it's possibly going to go through, and this would be for most of the 9-month contract employees that could now get unemployment insurance in the summer. So it might be the food service people, the paras, and so forth. The estimated cost on that one is a little over 600,000. The majority of that hits in the general fund, but there's also a little bit that would affect the food service and the community ed funds. Another mandate that we're looking at is the paid family and medical leave. This one, an estimated amount that we would pay is 91,000. I believe the way this one is figured is it's a 0.7% payroll tax, or 0.7% tax, but 0.35 of that is on the employer side. And then another mandate that sounds like it's going to be signed into law is the earned safe and sick time. This one would be about 29,000. And again, this one is split out between the general fund, food, and community ed. So there you can see the numbers. As I mentioned, general fund is projecting 64,000 negative. Food service, as of right now, I'm showing a balanced budget. But on food service, I'm really waiting for the legislature to come out with the meal reimbursement rate for next year, because meals will be free, but we don't yet know what amount they're going to reimburse us. And so our goal is to make sure that all of our costs are controlled in such a way that we can balance the budget next year. So between our staffing costs and the food costs, hope to balance out there. Community ed. This one is currently looking at a negative 100,000. As of Prior to the mandates, it was about 50,000 negative, but with the mandates that I just talked about, it's currently projected to be about 100,000 negative. And then debt service, as of right now, the projected ending balance for, or surplus for next year would be about 331,000. So if you guys have any questions, I can try and answer them. If I don't know the answer, I can certainly get back to you.
Do you know how accurate the projections of the enrollment are? I mean, year over year, are they pretty close as far as predicting increases or decreases? Or?
Yeah, we've been pretty accurate at that. The challenging piece has always been IQ Academy.
Sure.
And that will be the same again this year too. It's hard to know.
It was projected lower, I want to say about 544 students, so we're really hoping it comes up from there. It's been over 700 lately, and so hopefully we see that rise again next year. But this is what Stride, the company that we partner with, that's what they're projecting. So. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and then our final board report tonight is Superintendent Craig.
One of these days I'm going to ask to go first, so I don't know about my slides that are repeating. But good evening. We had a beautiful weekend and the weather's certainly nice. And we can feel the fact that we are very close to the end of the year, although it kind of snuck up on us a little bit with the late winter we had. So several thanks to give out, first of all, to the staff and teachers. We've just had a remarkable year. Every year has its unique challenges, but my visits here, especially to the podium this spring, have been filled with lots of wonderful student accomplishments, and many of them either rare or kind of one of a kind in the history of the district, with kids going to nationals or state champions, or the number of students going to the MAP contest, or the number of students going to the FFA state contest. So that's what it's all about, is our work with students and watching and celebrating their success. And that takes a lot of people working side by side and in cooperation to make that happen. So my appreciation to all the work from the administration, teachers, staff, our partnership with Otter Tail Coaches, 935, the benefit that the business community gives to us, Dollars for Scholars, the foundation. We just have a lot of really great partners out there. So the PTOs that help make this very, very successful. So thank you to all of those folks for your continued support. Some congratulatory notes to the seniors. We're going to see a great group of kids across the stage, both on June 1st with the ALC and again on June 2nd with the high school graduation. And certainly thanking them for the contributions they've made to our climate and culture and all they've accomplished, and wishing them the very best as they go on into the world to impact their community and pursue their dreams. We have a district recognition program coming up this Wednesday after school, where we will recognize our retirees. We will recognize folks for years of service. The Teacher of the Year will be recognized as well, Catherine Anderson, and then we will select our support, or announce the selection of our support staff of the year. So that's always a very nice event, and looking forward to that. We mentioned the adaptive bowling, that the team came back with a state champion doubles team. So congratulations, that was mentioned at the very beginning of the board meeting. We also had the third place Envirothon team, very proud of them. And I'm not sure this was mentioned, but the super mileage car did very, very well in competition at Brainerd, taking fourth. And there's a lot of time and effort, a lot of time after school that goes into the design and fabrication of those vehicles. And Appreciate all the hard work that went into that project. Was mentioned earlier, the Blondo Fine Arts Festival is this evening, so please take an opportunity to go and view the student artwork that's on display in the hallways. This was kind of a unique, and I love the description of this. So the big kids got a Touch a Truck event after the preschool kids had one a couple weeks ago. But this was set up in the ice arena parking lot, and so our students got an opportunity to go and sit in some and operate some heavy equipment and take that in. And it's a great opportunity for kids to experience something maybe they haven't before. And I know some folks that work in this industry that have remarked that it's just been a great career for them. And so certainly opportunities that some of our students might find very appealing. On the facility management, what would a report be without an update on the children? And so just as I was moderately confident that we were going to have air conditioning on Wednesday the 25th, at 9:07 this morning, I got an email that said the leak that we had been concerned about did not fix itself as the system was pressurized. And so, because there are no shut-off valves built into the design of the system, the hundreds of gallons of glycol need to be pumped out of KSS into a storage tank. The leak needs to be fixed, and then that glycol needs to be pumped back in. So it takes at least a day, maybe a little bit longer, to pump all of it out, and an equal amount of time to send the fluids back into the system. And so now we believe the commissioning will take place on Friday. So hopefully air conditioning when we return to school the following Tuesday. Maybe we would get lucky and see a little bit towards the end of the day Friday, but at this point, we'll take it when we get it, I guess. So with that, I will open it up to any questions.
Any questions for Superintendent Drake?
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, then we'll move on to our general consent items. We have the minutes from our May 8th, 2023 meeting, and then we'll move to personnel.
All right. I have a lot to say again. Good evening, everyone. I won't go through all the details. Everything is in front if you have taken an agenda which is right on that side table there. But I will review so I can review them quickly. Certified staff resignation, we have Deborah Foster, reading interventionist teacher at Kennedy. Certified staff retirement, Daryl Tisdall, physical education teacher at Kennedy. We also have a resolution for Daryl towards the end of our agenda, and Daryl has been with us for 30 years, so a long time. Certified staff leave of absence request, Carrie Gronley. Request for extended leave of absence effective at the start of next school year. Certified staff hires, and these are all for the 2023-24 school year. Jacob Zaka, social studies teacher. Jennifer Matheson, elementary teacher. Lydia Rutten, elementary teacher. Warren Wright, special ed teacher at IQ Academy. Barbara King, special ed teacher at IQ Academy. Support staff resignations, Eric Strom, our grounds custodian. Becca Hansen, secretary here at the high school office at Kennedy. Sarah Camp, American Indian Home and School liaison. Support staff retirement, we have Albert Friedrich, custodian at Cleveland, and we also have a resolution on his retirement a little bit later on in our agenda. Support staff hires, Stephanie Lundy, student support aide at Cleveland. Tracy Williams, she's going to be remaining as custodian. She has just accepted a part-time job, I should say 0.5 half-time job versus her full-time job here at Kennedy Secondary School. And then we have coach resignation, Mike Donahoe, who's been our head speech coach. So I would recommend these for board approval.
Thank you. Could someone offer a motion to approve the general consent items?
So moved.
And a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Consent items are approved. We don't have any old business, so we'll move on to new business. Our first item is extended school year, ESY services and summer school for special education students. Could I get a motion to approve those services?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. That is approved. Then we have the Right Start Summer Program for kindergarten, June 2023, and grade 5, August 2023. Could I get a motion to approve the Right Start program?
I'll make that motion.
And a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. That motion is approved. We have fiscal year 24 school district membership agreement with Lakes Country Service Cooperative effective July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024. Could I get a motion to approve the membership agreement?
So moved.
And a
I'll
second?
second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. That agreement is approved. And then we have a service agreement between ISD 544 and Kathy Smith, Love and Logic Trainer, effective June 8th, 2023. Could I get a motion to approve that service agreement?
So moved.
And a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion on that?
I have a question. Is that just a one-day training?
Day and a half.
Day and a
Day and a
half,
half.
and then others some ongoing. For 2 May.
Right? All
Coach,
in-
I'm sorry, coaching and 2 May.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. That agreement is approved. And then we have a resolution placing a continuing contract tenured teacher on unrequested leave of absence upon acquiescence of such placement. Whereas the School Board of Independent District Number 544 adopted a resolution proposing placement of blank on unrequested leave of absence on April 24th, 2023 on the grounds of financial limitations. Whereas said written notice of the proposed placement on unrequested leave of absence was mailed to blank by certified mail on April 25th, 2023. And whereas said written notice of the proposed placement on unrequested leave of absence contained a statement settling forth the reasons for the proposed placement as well as statement that he or she was entitled to hearing before the school board provided he or she make a request in writing within 14 days of receipt of said notice. And that if no hearing was requested within said 14-day period, it constituted acquiescence by blank to the school board's proposed action. And whereas no written request for a hearing was received by the school board or superintendent from blank as of May 15th, 2023, and whereas said failure to make written requests for a hearing within 14 days after receipt of notice of proposed placement on unrequested leave of absence constitutes acquiescence by blank to said placement on unrequested leave of absence. Be it thereby resolved by the School Board of Independent District 544 that blank be and hereby is placed on unrequested leave of absence as a teacher of Independent District Number 544 on the grounds of financial limitations at the end of 2022-23 school year effective June 30th, 2023 in accordance with the District Master Agreement and pursuant to Minnesota Statute 122A.40 Subdivision 10 without pay or fringe benefits. Be it further resolved that a notice of placement on unrequested leave together with a copy of this resolution be forwarded to said teacher personally and that an affidavit of same be placed in his or her personal file together with a copy of the notice and resolution. And then there's the letter that was sent out, and then we have 8 employees, Michael Bear, Regina Bush, Kaylee Levy, Mariah Minkinen, Heather Schrader, Ann Sko, Deb Suter, and Lisa Thiessen. Just 3 weeks small FTE changes, and they are all from IQ, correct? Okay, could someone offer that resolution and move for its adoption?
So moved.
And could I get a second?
Second.
And any discussion on it?
I just think to clarify what you said, 6 of the 8 are 1/6 time reductions, and 2 of them are 1/3. So it's not like we're doing this with 8 teachers full-time.
Thank you.
Yep.
Ms. C, will you take roll, please?
Stephen Biggessa,
Yes.
Herbie Anderson.
Yes.
Natalie Knudsen.
Yes.
Melanie Cole.
Yes.
Matthew Lemke.
Yes.
Missy Hermes, yes. The resolution is adopted.
Thank you. Next, we have a resolution on the retirement of Daryl Tisdall. Whereas Daryl Tisdall began his employment with the Fergus Falls Public Schools in August 1993, and whereas Daryl has been a valued employee with the Fergus Falls Public Schools for the past 30 years, and whereas Daryl has been a dedicated physical education teacher for the district, and now therefore be it resolved by the Fergus Falls School Board to thank Daryl Tisdall for his 30 years of service to the Fergus Falls Public Schools. Could someone offer that resolution and move for its adoption?
I'll offer a resolution for its adoption.
And a second?
Second.
Ms. will you take a roll, please?
Sure. Herbie Anderson.
Yes.
Natalie Knudsen.
Yes.
Melanie Cole.
Yes.
Matthew Lemke.
Yes.
Missy Hermes, yes. Stephen Biggessa.
Yes.
The resolution is adopted.
And then we have another resolution on the retirement of Alan Friedrich. Friedrich or Frederick?
Friedrich.
Okay. Whereas Alan Friedrich began his employment with the Fergus Falls Public Schools in March 2012, and whereas Alan has been a valued employee with the Fergus Falls Public Schools for the past 11 and a half years, and whereas Alan has been a dedicated custodian for the district, and now therefore be it resolved by the Fergus Falls School Board to thank Alan Friedrich for his 11 and a half years of service to the Fergus Falls Public Schools. Someone offer that resolution and move for its adoption?
I'll offer that resolution and move for its adoption.
I'll second that.
Thank you. And we'll take roll,
I
please.
will. Melanie Cole. Yes. Matthew Lemke.
Yes.
Missy Hermes, yes. Stephen Biggessa.
Yes.
Herbie Anderson.
Yes.
Natalie Knudsen.
Yes.
The resolution is adopted.
And then our next regular school board meeting is on Monday, June 12th. So starting in summer, we'll be moving the mornings at 7:15 here in the Otter Community Room. And on our work session tonight, we have a couple of public comments, some legislative update, policy, facilities, and some programming conversations. So could I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So, second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Those opposed, say nay.